The snowstorm started so suddenly that Daniel almost missed the turn toward the old mountain cabin. If you enjoy emotional stories about unexpected connections and second chances, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because this story might remind you how powerful a single moment between two strangers can become. Daniel tightened his grip on the steering wheel as thick snow swallowed the narrow road. His 6-year-old daughter Lily was asleep in the back seat, wrapped in a small pink blanket, her soft breathing the only calm thing in the storm outside. Just a little further, Daniel whispered to himself. He had rented the tiny cabin for the weekend. Life had been heavy lately. Since his wife passed away 2 years earlier, everything had been about surviving, working construction during the day, taking care of Lily at night, pretending he was stronger than he felt. This trip was supposed to be different, a quiet place, a break, but the storm had other plans. When Daniel finally pulled up in front of the cabin, the wind was howling like a living thing. He quickly carried Lily inside, lit the fireplace, and wrapped her in extra blankets on the couch. He had just begun unpacking when he heard something strange. Knocking, 3 quick, desperate knocks on the door. Daniel froze. Nobody should be out in weather like this. He opened the door cautiously, and the wind nearly slammed it back into his face. Standing outside, half covered in snow, was a woman. Her dark coat was dusted white, and her hair clung to her face from melted snowflakes. But despite the chaos of the storm, there was something striking about her, something confident even in the way she stood shivering. "Please," she said breathlessly. "My car slid off the road a mile back. I've been walking. I saw the light." Daniel stepped aside immediately. "Come in." She stumbled inside, and he shut the door quickly against the storm. For a moment, the two strangers simply stood there by the fire. The warmth slowly returned to her face. "Thank you," she said quietly. "I don't think I would have made it much farther." Daniel handed her a blanket. "My name's Daniel." She hesitated for a moment before answering. "Claire." From the couch, Lily stirred slightly. Claire noticed the small girl and smiled. "You're a dad." Daniel nodded. "Single dad." Something softened in Claire's eyes. The hours passed slowly as the storm grew stronger outside. The power flickered once, then disappeared entirely. The cabin was left with nothing but the fireplace and a few candles Daniel found in the kitchen drawer. Claire helped make tea using melted snow and the small gas stove. They talked, at first about simple things. The storm, the mountain road, the warmth of the fire, but slowly deeper pieces of their lives slipped into the conversation. Claire worked in the city, long hours, big responsibilities. "Business?" Daniel asked. She smiled faintly. "You could say that." Daniel didn't push. Meanwhile, Lily eventually woke up, wandered sleepily into Daniel's arms, and immediately decided Claire was her new friend. Children had a way of doing that. Soon the little cabin felt less like a refuge and more like a strange, temporary home. But the storm wasn't slowing. Wind rattled the windows. Snow piled against the door. By midnight, the temperature inside the cabin had dropped significantly. The fireplace helped, but it wasn't enough. Daniel piled every blanket he could find near the couch where Lily slept. Claire sat close to the fire, pulling her coat tighter around herself. "You can take the bedroom," Daniel offered. "Lily and I will stay out here." Claire shook her head. "No, we share the warmth." She paused, studying him. "You're used to taking care of everyone else, aren't you?" Daniel looked into the fire. "I try." There was a long silence between them. Finally, Claire spoke again, her voice quieter now. "You know, I almost didn't take this trip." "Why?" Daniel asked. She gave a small laugh. "Because I don't usually escape my life. I run a company with thousands of employees. Every decision I make affects people." Daniel blinked. "A company?" Claire nodded. "I'm the CEO." Daniel stared for a moment. He looked around the small wooden cabin, the snow outside, the flickering firelight. Then he shrugged. "Well, CEO or not, tonight you're just someone who needed a warm place." For the first time that night, Claire smiled fully, and something shifted between them. Outside, the storm howled louder. Inside, the temperature dropped further. Daniel noticed Claire shivering despite the blanket. He hesitated. "Take the thicker one." "It's yours," she said. Before he could protest, Claire looked at him carefully, almost shyly now, her voice lowered to a whisper. "Can I slip under your blanket?" For a moment, Daniel didn't move. Not because of the question, but because of how vulnerable she sounded. Not like a powerful CEO, just a tired human being caught in a storm. "Of course," he said gently. They sat side by side on the floor near the fire, sharing the large blanket. Careful, respectful, just two strangers trying to stay warm. But closeness has a strange way of revealing truth. They talked through the night. Claire admitted how lonely success could feel, how people saw the title before they saw the person. Daniel told her about losing his wife, about learning how to braid Lily's hair by watching YouTube videos, about nights when he stayed awake wondering if he was enough for his daughter. Claire listened with eyes that shimmered in the candlelight. "You are enough," she said softly, and somehow Daniel believed her. At some point, Lily wandered sleepily into Daniel's lap again, and Claire helped tuck the blanket around her. The three of them sat there quietly, watching the fire burn low. For the first time in a long time, Daniel didn't feel alone. Morning finally arrived with silence. The storm had passed. Sunlight poured through the frosted windows, lighting the room in soft gold. Daniel woke first. Claire was still asleep beside him, the blanket wrapped loosely around her shoulders. Lily slept peacefully nearby. For a moment, Daniel just watched the calm, then Claire stirred. "Did we survive?" she murmured. "Looks like it." They stepped outside together. The world was buried in snow, but the sky was bright blue. Soon rescue trucks would reach the road. Soon Claire would return to boardrooms and city skylines. Soon Daniel would return to construction sites and school lunches. Two very different lives. Claire turned to him. "You know, last night might have been the most honest conversation I've had in years." Daniel smiled. "Storms do that." She hesitated. Then she pulled a small card from her pocket and handed it to him. "If you ever come to the city, call me." Daniel looked at the card. Her name was printed beneath the title, Chief Executive Officer. He slipped it into his pocket. "Maybe I will." Lily ran outside at that moment, laughing and throwing snow in the air. Claire watched her with warmth in her eyes. Then she looked back at Daniel. "Take care of that little girl." "I will." As Claire walked down the snowy path toward the distant road, Daniel realized something surprising. The storm hadn't trapped them. It had introduced them. And sometimes, the most powerful connections in life begin when two strangers simply share a blanket in the middle of a storm. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories about life, love, and unexpected moments that change everything. Because sometimes, the people we meet by accident become the ones we remember forever.